Azzie Day.
Hey Juan, what's up, man?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, you're the first woman artist I've ever interviewed.
That's amazing.
Cheers to that.
Seriously.
Are you originally from Portland?
No, I grew up in Montana actually.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
How's growing up in Montana?
You know, it's terrible, but there's some good people everywhere.
I suppose it's really quiet.
Yeah, the town I grew up in was a big tourist town, so part of the year it was like crazy crowded with a bunch of people, and then it would get really quiet.
What was the main attraction?
The ski hill.
Oh.
And there's a lake too, like right below the ski hill, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Were you a big skier growing up, or did you get into that?
Yeah. I skied and I snowboarded, mostly because it was a big family thing.
Yeah.
But I actually never liked it. I'm pretty good, but I hate it.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's too cold.
That's usually what happens. To whom much is given, much is hated.
No, it's just like I did have like I'm grateful that I was able to. I know it's like a really expensive sport.
Right.
I just brought my skis down from Montana.
Damn. Okay.
And I wanted
Bend, Oregon.
Well, no, I'm not gonna ski. I don't like skiing.
Oh shit.
I've just had them in Montana forever.
Oh shit.
And like I wanted to bring them up here so I can like sell them cheap because they're pretty nice. Like I want to give them to somebody for like a good deal, because it's not a super accessible sport for people. So I'm like, yeah, I got these skis.
Yeah.
Like they've been sitting here. Like please, somebody use them.
Right.
If anyone
right.
needs K2 skis.
Right. Get these off my hands.
Like hit me up.
So what led you to come to Portland, Oregon?
Yeah, so I was traveling and I came back to the U.S. and I didn't have any money.
Right.
Just a backpack, and I had some friends living out here, and I was like, hey, can I crash on your couch? And then I had a couple other friends so I could kind of couch surf while I saved up to like get a place. So, and then I just, didn't leave.
Yeah, you're living the true like early musician life. I fuck with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta like grunge it out.
Okay.
Like in this comedy shit, you gotta like be quarter homeless. That's like that's how you gain your respect in the community.
Oh, really? I would be a great comedian then.
Yeah, so embrace that shit.
Yeah, I literally lived in a car for 3 months.
How was that?
In New Zealand. So.
In New Zealand?
Yeah. Like homeless.
What was that experience like?
It was rough at times. It was me and my friend Kote. She was Chilean, and like she literally stayed. She was supposed to go to Australia, but she stayed in New Zealand with me because she liked me and she didn't want to like leave me there alone because I was gonna meet her and my friends there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just lived in a car to save money. It was really to save money so we could travel more. And I worked night shifts from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. because the bars are open till like fucking 5 a.m. there.
Jesus Christ. Did you ever deal with any like weird people while you're living in their car?
Luckily not so much. Maybe I just feel like if maybe it was a weird person, I probably just thought they were cool and we became friends. So
wow, that's awesome.
What is a weird not any drug people are high on drugs trying to like rob me or anything.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So what brought you to New Zealand from Montana?
Yeah, I got like a work visa over there. They were before COVID really easy to apply for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just got accepted and was like, okay, I don't want to be in Montana anymore, so let's do this.
Wow.
And
so your family, were you guys a close unit prior to you going overseas, or how was your growing up?
Oh, interesting. At that point, I was completely living on my own when I did that. But growing up, I had a split home, so I spent half the time with my mom, half the time with my dad. And yeah, we were all like close. I still talk to everybody in my family, but like I am just really independent. And like as soon as I turned 17, I mean my whole life from the time I was born, I was like, don't tell me what to fucking do.
Right.
Ever.
I mean,
like,
what gave you that inspiration to be so independent? Like, where did that fire come from? You're like, don't tell me what to do. Where'd that come from?
I mean, that's just genetic, I think. I think that I was born with that.
Okay.
Like that, like my mom said I came out fucking screaming, like bright red.
Nice.
She said my grandma on her side, which my mom's side of the family is like more like liberal and artsy and kind of weird.
Okay.
And my mom's mom was like, oh, thank God she's one of us. That's something that my family always told me, that story, and I was like, that's kind of rude, you know, to my siblings and shit, but like that's what's said at my birth.
How did you channel that energy into your art? Like, what type of music do you make? What would you classify your music as?
So I think like as an artist, my music is something that I have to do and something that I've always done. Like from the time I was really young, I always sang and made up shit up to kind of deal with things in life. Like that was my release. Like a lot of times I'll listen to my songs and I will be telling myself something that I didn't realize at the time, you know, like I don't really fully understand what I'm writing about when I'm writing.
Right.
And it's always like the reflection back into it that kind of tells me things about me. And like that's what everyone's journey is here, is just to learn about yourself and like fully become who you are, you know. And so yeah, that's what my art is and my music is.
What genre would you consider your music?
I like to say it's bedroom pop.
I've never heard that term before. I think that's the coolest shit. What is bedroom pop?
Well, it's because for me, I mean, bedroom pop is kind of like it's poppy in like the lyrics and in the feel. You know, pop music has more of that upbeat kind of like lightheartedness.
Yeah.
Sometimes with deep, like dark lyrics that are hidden in that kind of more uplifting, but it's got that really kind of almost like chill, lower vibe. And it was recorded in my bedroom.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I like that. I like that. Have you, so on your journey to learn yourself, what have you come across when you listen back to your music? Like what was your younger artist self telling yourself today?
Interesting. I mean, I wrote like the first song I ever really wrote like with my guitar, and I like finally it was like had an instrument along with me.
Yeah.
Was just about like having suicidal idealization.
Right.
I hope I'm saying that word right.
Suicidal ideation.
Ideation.
There we go. We're working together.
Not idolization. Which
I mean, sometimes people do idolize the thought of people who've committed suicide. So it's kind of like
interesting.
Low key is kind of a thing. Like suicidal people have inspired other suicidal people. You know?
No, it is true.
Because they're like, I love that guy.
I know.
Or woman.
Yeah, I know. I've had a lot of friends commit suicide. Yeah.
Can you still listen to to your older music, like that first song you made, and get that feel from it? Like, how do you feel when you hear your older music?
I mean, to me, it's just music at this point. Like, just song, like in all the songs that I've learned as covers, or all of my songs that I've written throughout my life. Like, when I sit down to play and I just want to go through and just be practicing, I'll just go through like the Rolodex of music, and like covers and my songs are all in there. And the songs that I cover, I also understand the emotion and what those writers are writing about.
Right.
And so it's kind of the same, like, it's just the same. It's because it's not me. Like, I don't think of my music as, even though it's coming from my psyche.
You're speaking from like a higher power. Yes.
I don't know. I mean, people say that because I think that's how it feels, but I don't know if I believe that.
I mean, there's times where I'm on stage and my mind can't comprehend anything that my body and mouth are doing.
Right.
And I can only attribute that to some other form out there.
Yes, it feels that way.
Yeah,
It really does.
Are you like a spiritual person or religious type of person?
I am agnostic, so
Cool.
I was raised atheist. I actually went to my mom took us to the Universalist church, like Unitarian Universalist church as kids. It's like a church of like non-religious people who still want to have community, and they have like moral guidelines for life. Yeah, they have them here. They have them all over the United States. But we went there as kids. A lot of granola people.
Of course.
Yeah, and I really understood it. I was like, the fuck is I was like, I don't need this to be a good person. Like, I can like just live my life, please, and like find. Like for me, spirituality is something that like everyone needs to cultivate and find on their own. It's a personal journey. If you're outside of that, pushing beliefs on people and stuff, like you're in the wrong. To me, like it is a personal journey for each person. I am spiritual in the way that I have seen crazy shit on this planet. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what's going on, but I don't think I have the ability to comprehend it. So I just stopped trying to know and just experience. You know.
Damn.
You know.
I like that. Experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to experience, because I think the older generations kind of prided themselves on community. And so even the new atheists, they didn't know what to do alone. They still needed like a community. And so that's probably where atheists even came from, was like, all right, I don't believe in all this crazy shit, so let me make a community of people who don't believe that shit.
Yeah, and then atheists are like so against religious people that I've met.
But it's like they're creating religion through non-religion.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Because humans,
it's true.
We fear what we are, you know?
Definitely, and we should.
Yeah.
We really should.
I mean, you believe we should. You believe we should fear who we are.
You're like, yeah, wait, what?
No, I mean, I'm like processing what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know? Like, what makes you feel that way?
I mean, I kind of, throughout my life, developed a bit of a negative outlook on humanity. I think that as individual people, we can be really good, but I think as a whole of a system of humanity, we are kind of parasitic on this planet. I don't think we have to be. I think that we do have, and we have in the past, lived in harmony, but in the way that we are functioning today, it is like very bad. Okay,
so, I feel you.
So yeah, and I just like, that is just like my underlining kind of belief. And I think it is a perception. Because depending on how you perceive the world, it doesn't have to be perceived like that. But that's the conclusion that I
feel that.
To,
so. Do you kind of express that conclusion through your music? Like how is your music affected by these thoughts that are going through that brain?
I some of my lyrics on my EP is like, I've been thinking about my thought processes and whether I exist, and it's thinking about my thought processes. It's in the answers to the questions that follow this. Resist. Those are like some deep psyche.
Resist. So I mean, resist. What exactly are you resisting in that thought process?
Right. I think that when you come to the conclusions of what reality we're really living in, and what people have really done, and what people are really capable of, like, you don't want to believe that. You don't want to acknowledge those truths because they're hard and they're kind of brutal, you know? And so I think a lot of people fall back and hide from the truth of things. And it's escapism, really.
Very true.
Yeah.
And it's like, what way is it to live? Like, do you want to know all of the truths and be really sad, or do you want to live in an ignorant state of somewhat of bliss? You know, is ignorance really bliss? That's the real question. True.
I think people say that, and I get that, because there is bliss in ignorance. Like, if you don't know you're dying of cancer, it's probably going to be better than if you know that you're dying of cancer.
That's a debatable thing too. It's like, you know what, why not just live and then just die? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. It's
like going to Vegas.
It's your perspective.
Yeah, you just die in first class or something, you know? It's like, whatever.
Is that how you feel when you're on a plane? Is that how you cope on a plane?
It's like, you know what? If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Yeah.
I felt that way on a plane too. It's not so bad. It's quick. You know, like, How
do you cope with those feelings, like, because you're experiencing thoughts about the unknown, the known. That's a lot for one brain to just try to compute. So do you have techniques or things to do to relieve your stress?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of I have a lot of self-soothing mechanisms, you know, like basic shit like drinking tea and doing yoga, meditating, running sometimes, listening to music, playing music is huge. Playing music is really helpful for all of that. But I think honestly the biggest thing is just letting go of trying to know and realizing that all you can do is really be like being in the moment. That really helps me to break out of that. But yes.
I mean, same for me. Like I have to be physical. Like I have to express because I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to speak on every different type of genetic internal makeup, but the genetic makeup I have wants me to express myself physically and do like rigorous things with exercise to kind of release that stress. I also love to create. Getting on stage and speaking my mind releases this load off of my shoulders.
Definitely.
Have you impacted people? Have you come across people that have heard your music and felt the powers that you've been giving to it?
Yeah, it's always Christians.
Nice. Isn't it funny? You're like running from. You're like, I'm agnostic. They're like,
I'm running
come back. The Christians are like, please.
They're like, we hear God in your music, and I'm like, thank you.
That's powerful.
Like fuck. Like
it's powerful.
It's a lot. I mean, I don't know. It's only happened twice that I had Christians different times. I don't know if they were religious, believe in God, but they said that to me. It made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, what did you feel in that moment? Did you feel like, whoa?
I felt like I'm never playing music for anyone again.
You're like, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's start all over again.
Like I need to rewrite, rethink. Like this is my niche crowd. Like I have to go play for religious people.
I have to go back to Montana.
Like, fuck yeah! I should have stayed in Montana. Fuck. No, it's pretty shitty. No, I should be so thankful. Like seriously, any fans, Christian, if you're Christian and you're a good person, you're great. Like I know some really good Christians. I don't mean to be anti-Christian.
Yeah, speaking of anti-Christian, I mean, we saw a video today that, thankful to you, I would have never even come across. I mean, what did you see in that video that really called to you?
Oh my gosh, so much. So yeah, a little context of the video. It's a pastor in Vancouver, which is pretty close to us, and he's just up on stage speaking hate, just pure hate, saying that like we recently had a mass shooting in Colorado.
R.I.P.
Yeah, it's horrible, and it was like a gay club, like I don't really know all the details of it, but this pastor was saying that he was happy that they were dead. He called all gay people child molesters. He literally said gay people molest children
through the eyes.
Through their eyes.
He's really going for it right now.
What the fuck even is that? Sorry, can I cuss?
No, you can cuss. This is a cuss-friendly zone.
Okay, cool.
Please.
Yeah, so that was just horrible. Like I felt like I just have to do something. Yeah. Like I have to do something. Ever since I was a kid, whenever shit is just like so wrong, like I just get like this like mama bear energy, like even for like my roommates or like my friends or family or like communities that I feel like should have rights. Like if there's someone who's speaking against people, like fucking mind your own fucking business. You can keep yourself away from people that you don't like, but like saying it's okay that they died, like what the
right. I mean, being in a position of power as a pastor and having a congregation of people who have to intake your projection, because what he's speaking on isn't even conducive to what he's preaching. And so it's sick. That's the reason why Atheist began, is because the human ego, the human ego took charge and saw that group of people and started to change the rhetoric from the book that they were actually reading.
That's interesting.
Or manipulate the rhetoric.
That reminds me, I saw my grandparents recently, And I asked them why they weren't religious, because they just raised it was my dad's grandparents, they raised him non-religious. And they're very, like, they voted for Trump, they're super conservative, and I was like, why aren't you guys religious? You know, it just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, you check the other two boxes.
I'm like, what? And they were like, well, they said that the minute that the church said that you can do any sin or anything and then go and be forgiven for it just by believing, that was when they were like, this is not right. Like, you can be a good person without having that was just when it was it for them. They were like, this just sounds made up and sounds like bullshit, really.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, everything is made up that was created for man. I mean, you made it up through energy and through feelings that you gain from not knowing what happens when you die.
I mean, that's what I believe too, but that's not what people believe.
Yeah, man. So that's unfortunate that people are pushing hate.
Yeah, so
actually, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that if anyone wants to go protest with me.
This is very protest friendly. I do my own versions of protests every time I get on stage with a microphone.
Yes.
I actually so I had the same overwhelming feeling to do something in that moment of injustice. So I just sacrificed a whole comedy set one time. I got on stage and I was like, I have a brother who's trans.
Oh, cool.
And 2 weeks ago, I made a joke saying I'm glad he's trans because that's one more person who will take a bullet in an active shooter situation. I said that. And I was like,
damn.
I know, and how crazy of an impact that led to. And so I made the entire crowd be silent, like a moment of silence for the people who lost their lives, and just I just walked off stage.
Wow.
You know, because it's the same thing. We have to sometimes you have to compromise your art for what you feel internally. You know,
like the success of it. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the success of it.
Oh my God, there's been so many times where I'm dealing with shitty men in the industry that they're like, we can make things for you if you just give us a little something, and I'm just never. Or they're like, oh, this song, we like it, can we have it and make it our own? I'm like, this song is about domestic violence. I'm not giving this song to you fucking assholes. Wow. No, this song will be it's hard. You definitely aren't as successful if you follow stronger.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm saying, but I feel like you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. So I'm actually glad we kind of hit this point because being a woman in the industry, trying to rise through the ranks, I can imagine is filled with weird people, and how do you deal with that energy and still stay productive to the purpose and the goal?
I honestly just work by myself.
I feel that.
No, I do have to. I have had to navigate some mansplaining and things. You know, I learned growing up in Montana. I learned how to make things other people's ideas. That is a skill that you learn as a woman in this country from a very young age, because as a man, you have. People take you seriously. People listen to what you say. If you have ideas, people will immediately listen. As a woman, people are they will immediately listen to a man over you, if you're a woman. And so in the industry, in the music industry, it's dominated by dudes. There's dudes everywhere. And the girls industry are oh yeah, I just work with a bunch of guys, and I don't know, I'm trying to work with more women. I'm where are my ladies at? It's hard to find them. I shouldn't say that because my roommate's
No, you should say that. Put that out there. I mean, closed mouths don't get fed. You know, it's manifest more women energy around you, because there's beautiful women. It's just maybe harder to find them, but once you find them, you guys got to cultivate that energy and build a strong base. So those weird dudes that try to get in between all that, they get blocked out. They get X'd out.
Yeah, it's really. I feel like women even like we can work with each other even if we're attracted to each other and like stay professional. Like,
right.
It's not a big deal. But like working with a guy, like if he's attracted to you, he's just like, oh, I'm attracted to you, and it's like, so what?
Right. So what? Right. Cool. Are you gonna play this chord or not? Like what are we talking about?
I'm like, that's great, but like what does that, like, does that matter? Like there's still a lot of attractive people in the world.
Right. Like, very true.
Men are entitled in that way a lot of the time, where they think that if they like you or something, you just owe them that. And it's like,
could you see yourself dating someone in the industry, or do you like to keep?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually don't. And like the person that I did, they like pursued me very intensely, and so I was like, okay, well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like other artists, like I have a hard time because we're both very intense and dramatic, and like it's just like does not go well. Like,
yeah, because like artists are in their moods and shit. Like you gotta be cool with them, like not talking to them for like hours or a day. You know, just need that decompression time.
I mean, there are a lot of artists like that, definitely. Yeah. But for some reason, the artists that like me, because I'm not really like that. So we're like more like needing to make that space kind of thing.
I feel that.
Need space.
I feel that. So how's your dating life now? Given new city, musician, like how are all those things working together?
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. I mean, I am kind of figuring out my sexuality anyway. Like, I don't really think that I know where my attraction is. Like, I've been attracted to people that are like scare me, and like thinking that that's attraction. Like, I'm like, I am terrified. I must be really horny. Like,
okay. Okay.
So,
I was just talking about this the other day, actually.
Really?
Yeah, so this is interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
But I'm learning what is actually attractive to me, and I think I just might be a full lesbian.
Oh,
so
wow. Go you.
It's a process. No, but I'm like, I don't know, pan, bi, whatever.
Okay.
I'm figuring things out.
Yeah, take your time. There's never pressure to identify, like.
But right now I'm not like dating really, like I'm open to it. I'm on Tinder.
Yeah.
But,
Go you. That's how we found each other.
Yeah.
That's how this
like,
interview happened.
Should I say that?
Yeah. You gotta keep it real.
Yeah, we met on Tinder.
Yeah. It's our first time meeting each other, and we're already interviewing. Like, what a hell of a way to meet somebody.
I feel so, because usually, like, when I meet someone
this is like
for the first time,
interview / get to know each other type of vibe.
Yeah, I'm just like talking about myself. Yeah. Like, I would feel so bad if this was a normal interaction. I would feel horrible about how little I've asked you and like how much I've been talking about myself.
You can ask me questions.
Yeah, okay.
Too. Yeah,
I feel like because the dynamic, I'm just like.
Yeah, I want you to feel comfortable because, like, you know, this is a work. We're like, this is a tango or a dance of sorts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can't think of it.
That's okay. But yeah, I'm glad. So you're figuring yourself out. You're killing it.
Yeah.
How do you like being in Portland thus far?
It's an interesting place.
Yeah, the fuck.
How long have you lived here?
3 years.
Me too.
All right, that's the last high five.
That's so weird.
That's number 4.
I know. I said to him before this, I'm like talking to whoever's watching this, that my little brother gave me high fives all the time as kids. Because he was giving me high fives, and I was like, I might get annoyed if you give me too many high fives. Because I would tell my little brother, like, okay, you've given me 10 high fives this morning.
Yeah.
And he would just be there. And I'm like, dude, I can't. Like, it's too much. You overdid it. But yeah, Portland.
So 3 years in Portland. How do you feel about Portland?
There's a lot of things.
What's the things? Yes. Let's start with the things you like, and then the things you don't like. That's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Good things about Portland.
Yeah.
The art scene, the music scene, all of the little pop-up kind of DIY venue spaces with people in there with their like soaps and things, and then like graffiti artists with their graph artwork, and then tattoo artists in there tattooing people. Like there's just it's still not. It still hasn't fully recovered, I think, from COVID, not yet. But it's still there, and it's not something that you see a lot in the United States, from my experience in the U.S.
Same.
And that I've seen a lot outside of the U.S. And so it's the only place that I've experienced the economy being able to be successful on a lower level that way. So
it's like the community's working really hard to keep the community afloat.
Yeah,
you know,
it's that keep Portland weird thing. Like even the rich people are like, let's support the weirdos.